family arguments that repeat in the same endless loop, office intrigues where the victim suddenly becomes the persecutor, conversations with perpetually dissatisfied relatives that leave you feeling used. Eric Berne, one of the most influential psychiatrists of the 20th century, proved that none of this is coincidence or circumstance. What we're dealing with are psychological games that people play, often without even realizing it. Berne developed a coherent system called transactional analysis. Its foundation rests on three ego states that reside within each of us. The parent represents the voice of norms, rules, and prohibitions absorbed during childhood. The child is the source of creativity and spontaneity, but also of moodiness, fears, and resentments. The adult is that part of the psyche capable of seeing reality without distortion, analyzing situations, and making decisions. Problems arise when people communicate from mismatched states. A boss who addresses a subordinate as a strict parent will inevitably receive a response from the child, either rebellion or groveling. Constructive dialogue cannot occur in such a transaction. But Berne's main breakthrough was his theory of games. A game, in his understanding, has nothing to do with entertainment. It's a recurring sequence of transactions with a clear script, hidden motive, and predictable outcome. A game is always deceptive. On the surface, it looks like ordinary communication, but inside it contains a trap. Most importantly, players rarely realize they're playing. They genuinely believe they're arguing, complaining, taking offense, or helping. But the true purpose of a game isn't problem-solving, it's emotional payoff. Berne formulated a universal pattern: hook plus strike leads to reaction, followed by switch, confusion, and payoff. For example, a woman's behavior sends a signal of availability, the hook. A man takes the bait and begins pursuing her, the strike. At the climax comes the switch, she accuses him of harassment. The payoff, he feels guilty and humiliated, while she gains moral superiority and confirmation that all men are beasts. This game is called Rappo, and exists in varying degrees of severity, from mild flirtation to actual legal proceedings. The book describes over 120 games. Some last a lifetime, like Alcoholic, which involves not just the drinker but also a persecutor, a rescuer, and a patsy. Each player gets their payoff. The alcoholic receives confirmation of their worthlessness and the right to avoid responsibility. The rescuer gains a sense of importance. The persecutor gets justification for their anger. Other games unfold in marriage. A classic is If It Weren't For You. A wife complains that her husband prevents her from developing herself, working, or dancing. If it weren't for you, I would have. This provides double benefit. First, she avoids confronting her fear of failure. Second, she receives sympathy from friends and gifts from her guilt-ridden husband. When therapy helps the husband change and he removes all restrictions, the wife discovers with horror that she still does nothing. Because the restriction wasn't actually the problem, it was protection. A third category of games flourishes at parties. The famous Why Don't You? Yes, but involves someone complaining about a problem while others offer solutions, each met with a polite yes, but that won't work because. This isn't a request for help, it's a hidden transaction. Its goal is sympathy and confirmation of one's unique situation. The advice givers walk away feeling they fulfilled their parental duty. Berne asserts that we choose friends, partners, and even enemies from among those who play the same games. Moreover, games are inherited. A child absorbs their parent's script and will very likely reproduce it in their own family, teaching it to their children. We usually call this upbringing. But Berne's book isn't a fatalistic diagnosis. The author provides a tool for liberation called the antithesis. It's a move that destroys the game by denying the partner their expected payoff. In Why Don't You? Yes, but the antithesis is to stop being the rescuer. Don't offer advice. Instead, ask, what do you think? What solution seems reasonable to you? Or simply remain silent. Without sympathy and willingness to play the parent role, the game falls apart. In the game, Now I've Got You, You Son of a Bitch, the antithesis is refusing the provocation, not justifying yourself, maintaining calm. In Alcoholic, it means ceasing to be either persecutor or rescuer, allowing the person to face the real consequences of their actions. The ultimate goal of transactional analysis is strengthening the adult within, learning to notice which state you're in and which state your conversation partner occupies, seeing the hidden traps, understanding what payoff you're accustomed to receiving, and deciding whether you're ready to exchange this substitute for genuine intimacy. Because games, for all their drama, are merely replacements for authentic human connection. Healing comes when a person no longer needs familiar negative emotions and opens themselves to honest, direct, adult contact. If the topic of human relationships resonates with you, our channel offers explorations of other best-selling books. Subscribe so we can explore psychology, finance, and self-development together.